What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the latest episode of Unplanned and Unashamed with Ray Money and Isaiah Pinnell. And we are back with another episode of Unplanned and Unashamed.
We back again.
We're back for all the eavesdroppers.
Hey, man. I don't know. They ain't always eavesdropping. Now we inviting you in now. You know, you ain't got to look. I know you was being nosy. Come on, listen since you listening. You ain't an eavesdropper no more. If you this far into listening, you ain't eavesdropping no more. You listening now.
If you're like 20 episodes deep, you're not an eavesdropper. You definitely like a devout follower of the podcast.
We appreciate all four of y'all too.
It's like we appreciate all four. It's like a small cult.
Hey, that's how it starts. Everything starts small.
Soon we're gonna buy a private island in Guyana. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Hey man, I don't know. I would like a private island. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want a private island. That sounds cool though, but it could be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. Okay, why do you say it would be a problem? So I know what would make it a problem.
Because I feel like if you have like a private island, well, one, you're like too far away from everything. So like if the crap hits the fan, or if there's like a natural disaster, you're pretty much like screwed.
Well, not necessarily, because you may be safe because it's all over there.
True.
So it could maybe. I think that's what you hear I heard in the news, like Oprah and them, they done bought all the billionaires. You know, they be putting out bullshit. Well, I don't know. It could be true. They be giving bunkers and stuff.
But like if there was like a hurricane that came through and you had to like get off the island, I mean, that would be a hassle trying to find a boat. And then
you ain't got no boat if you got an island. You got a jet. If you got an island.
True. You got a private jet if you got a private island.
You ain't just like, all right, you got to sit around and wait to leave your island.
It's not like, oh, let me find the nearest ferry and wait.
No, it ain't like that. They got a helicopter. They got their own. Everybody got their own. You talking about if a hurricane, they gonna what? Ain't nothing gonna stop it like a hurricane or something if you ain't private island, but nothing gonna stop that rich man from getting off that island. Somebody coming to get his rich ass. It's an Uber plane. Somebody coming out there to get him.
But another thing, if you own a private island, you immediately put a target on your back because it's like, what kind of stuff is going on that private island? Because anybody that has a private island, they're automatically like, they don't have good track records.
I mean, that's of course they're gonna, people gonna say shit and make up shit, because they don't know what the hell is on a private island.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I ain't never been out the States, man. That seemed like it'd be cool to, like, have you been to the Bahamas?
I think Coco Cay is in the Bahamas, so yes.
So you been to the Bahamas? Have you been any other traveling internationally anywhere else?
I've been to Costa Maya, Mexico, Roatan, Honduras, and Cozumel. But that was on like a cruise. So that was like, it was more touristy and not,
I got you. Yeah, well, I mean, you say tourist, do you know what the local life is like?
So, well, like when I went to Roatan, I did go on like this private beach area where like there was like a few people around and stuff. And I got to like walk down the beach and stuff and, see what, the local life was like.
Mm. So what was it like? What do you say the difference between the tourist life and the local life there? What would you see the difference?
Well, so like with Roatan, when I was walking down the beach, I noticed like, with like the private area, like where all the tourists was at, it was like more, upscale. And then like when you got off away from there,
You
there
saw
was
Family Dollar.
There was like a bunch of devastation.
Not saying.
There was a bunch of devastation from like some kind of storm. So there was like a bunch of buildings that was like run down, and there was like stray cats all over the place.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's different. That's different lifestyle, man. So these people are not target. So I would presume that the places at these Bahamas places, do they have a lot of security? Like these resort areas, do they have a lot of security around?
Well, the little beach area that I was at,
Yeah.
they definitely had some security walking around, like with guns and stuff. But then once you strayed away from that, it wasn't like that.
So that's what I mean. You said just like the private island. Essentially, this tourist resort area is like a private island in the middle of all of this. I guess would you say a not tourist area, more rundown area?
Yeah.
So why would you think that? So I'm asking. So with that being such nice, that why those people are not going like to the resort area? Like if you see like, well, I guess if the shit hit the fan, they probably would. But what's preventing them from doing that now?
Oh, that's a good question. I honestly don't know what's preventing them from being like, let's go there.
Moose, what do you think? I know he's eavesdropping.
See, another interesting thing about Honduras and in Roatan is they don't have any traffic laws.
They got no traffic law?
Mm-mm. So like when we was going to the beach, we was going up this hill and the driver.
Hey, that's wild. Wait. Ain't no rules at all.
Essentially, there's like very little traffic laws, so you can like swerve in and out of traffic.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So we was in this van, and there was about, I don't know, 12 of us.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit less. But, I mean, the van was packed. And I was sitting up front with the driver, and we're going up this hill to get to the beach. And he was behind it was like a Volkswagen Jetta or something. And it was like an older model.
Yeah.
And they was going really slow up this hill. And, I mean, you couldn't see what was coming around the curves and stuff, and he just went around it without like paying any attention to what was coming around. And I'm like, I don't want to die in Honduras. I don't want to die in Honduras.
But that's got to be a thing that you got to get the statistics of how many like car accidents happen in Honduras. Because if it's low, like he's like a skilled driver at this point. Like to go around, like if it's not really. Like I don't know what in comparison to the U.S. versus Honduras, how many accidents happen per year? Like if you look at it like that, like how many people actually got to accidents? Like what would make you think that he knows something? He knows something to be like. Ain't no way you just fly around the curve that fast without like being nervous that nobody on the other side.
Well, and the scary thing was he wasn't even going that fast to get around this Volkswagen. So I was like, we about to die in Roatan.
That's wild.
But I would assume there's less accidents in that part of the.
It's just maybe just because of less cars. I guess maybe I don't know what and maybe or what would you consider a car? Because what were you riding in?
It was like this little van. Well, it wasn't a little van. It was a pretty big van.
Oh, it was a van.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, they're going up the hill, and he just shoot. And I was like, we down in Roatan today. That's what we about to do. And Roatan was like my least favorite place because of all the stray cats and stuff. And then you'll be walking down the beach. And there'll be like salesmen trying to sell you jewelry and stuff. And then if you say no to they'll like have drapes, like jewelry draped over their arms of like cheap necklaces and
what you mean? Like
earrings and stuff.
Oh, they out here at the hey, yeah, my man, I got some
like that
for you.
That's exactly what they're doing. They have the jewelry draped over their arm, and they're like, "We got earrings, necklaces, bracelets," and it's like $2 or something, cheap. And then you'll be like, "Nah, I'm good." And then they'll be like, "Well, do you want some weed?" And they'll be like, "Nah, I'm good." "Well, do you want some coke?" "No, I'm good."
Hey, that's a
So it makes you feel uncomfortable.
it make you feel uncomfortable. Hey
Yeah, I don't
man,
want anybody asking me if I want that stuff because not that. Yeah,
hey, man, you're in
no.
the wrong business then, man. That's what they people ask me if I want weed all the time.
Well, that's okay. Weed, okay, that's not as bad. But like cocaine, no, I don't.
I guess I ain't made it big enough where they offered it, but I've seen some people.
I'm not Pablo Escobar. Like that's.
Nah.
We ain't doing that over here.
What do you say? I can't see who's.
Honduras is one of the most violent countries in the world.
I can see why they ain't got no traffic law. They just cut you off in your driveway. Wait.
With high rates of homicide, extortion, and drug trafficking.
Hey man, all them people ain't like that. I ain't gonna. But it probably bad over there.
Oh wow! And, okay, so in January there was, through September 2023, there was 2,000 murders. Golly.
What's the population? 2,000 murders?
That's a lot. This is starting to turn into a true crime podcast.
Oh, they got 10 million people. They lost about $2,000. Yeah, that's a. You look all right, 2 on 2. That's really about 1,000 arguments, really. I mean, out of 10 million people arguing over some dumb shit.
Oh, now we're okay. Let's compare it to Gastonia.
They're gonna say 2,000 in Gastonia.
What's the purple? Yeah, this is starting to turn into a true crime episode. I wonder what the population of Roatan is, because it looked like it was a pretty crowded area.
What's the population? What, in where?
Roatan, Honduras.
I mean,
yeah, I know. Like earlier, it said 10.64 million, but I wonder, like, just the specific city, what that population is, because it looked like it was a bigger town or city. But yeah, Roatan was my least favorite place to go on that cruise. Cozumel was my favorite because everything's right there next to the ship. You don't have to,
Cozumel. I mean, how do you feel about guys traveling internationally? Like I've been potentially looking to travel some. So
I've always wanted to go to like Germany and stuff, so like Europe, and like see where some of my ancestors came from, and then like see where my granddad was stationed at when he was in the army in the early 70s.
That's okay. That's interesting. Just okay. You're looking for historical. You're looking for your lineage.
Yes. So I would want to go to like Germany and see like where my dad was born at. I'd want to go to Ireland and Scotland and see, more of like my ancestry and stuff.
Why is that important to you?
I'm just fascinated with like all that historical stuff.
That's what's up.
I've always been like, even at like as a little kid, I was into all that stuff, like ancestors and who were related to, way down the line.
So this is the thing, man. Is it maybe with the Choctaw Native American? Like my cousin's really into like researching our lineage. think I mean like Native American Choctaw. That's in my great grandmothers. So
so your family is like that Tim McGraw song, Indian Outlaw. I think that's what
I don't know, man.
I think that's she was part Cherokee and part Chickasaw, I believe. That's the lyric.
I don't know. But
You never heard of Indian Outlaw?
Mm-mm.
You need to listen to that and then listen to the edit. Somebody edited that part out where Tim McGraw goes, she's half Cherokee, and then they replaced the Hot Tub girl in there. So he's singing and he goes, half Cherokee, half Hot Tub. And it's hilarious.
I ain't heard it.
I know Moose has probably heard of it. He's probably heard of Indian Outlaw.
I don't know. That's the thing I learned.
But wasn't that the other tribe? It was half Cherokee and half Chickasaw,
half Choctaw or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know, man. That was I be questioning. I'm like, I don't know if how good his research is, but he be pulling something from like some registry stuff, and I be like, all right, for all I know, I'm black. Hey,
but now you said your great grandmother is Chickasaw?
No, Choctaw.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's like great. I ain't look all the way into it because it wasn't. It ain't had nothing to do with me today. I got other stuff to be worried about. But that was the last. Like he found a registry, and I ain't go through all the details. But I'm like, that may be that's interesting. I guess if I was I wasn't so busy, I'd take the time to look.
Right.
Or maybe I should take the time to look because I could be missing out on some of the proceeds from.
Right. Get some of that Native American money.
What? I'm opening a casino.
There you go. Open the casino. Put on one of those Native American headdresses, hey, like the tribal.
If it was true, I wouldn't do that to if it was I can't say that. If it's true, I'll be like, oh yeah, I probably would get more interested in at least to go look because it'll be a easier find. Black dude, I gotta search everywhere. So, but I don't know. I think it's not something that I've been like following Lynch, but I would like to be able to travel like to like Egypt and stuff to see like the biblical landmarks and stuff. So
that would be interesting too.
Yeah, so that's what it's called. They have like the Holy Land experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another place that would be interesting to visit. Egypt and Israel and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, that's probably like but it's kind of interesting. Like my sister, she cruises all the time, so I'll be wondering like how you pick where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
it's so many different places. So I get you. That's a good place to start.
See, I think an Alaskan cruise would be fun.
Alaskan cruise? You want to hear iceberg? That's the last place. You're gonna find out what you're into. Not just playing. You ain't never seen a Titanic, my boy. That's the last place I want to go.
You don't want to go there.
Hell no.
End up like this.
Look, this is me. I'll say some shit and then like if I was invited, like I'll be right there out there looking at all the ice. I'm like, how the hell I get out here?
you don't want to end up like the Titanic and the submersible.
Look, this is the thing. I said that I'll say stuff like that. Like I want to do something, but I'll do it because like I've been whitewater rafting a bunch of times, and like I don't know, I get adventurous at times, so I probably would. But I'd be nervous as hell. Like, yo, y'all got all the radars on, right? Cause what you do in that situation in the Titanic? What you gonna do? You float on the headboard? You trying to get a raft? They ain't got enough rafts for everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you on the Titanic and you a guy, you definitely,
No, I'm saying like on the ships now, like the cruise ships. So like do they have enough like life rafts suitable for every passenger? Enough for a surplus of passengers.
I would think so. Like when they was going over all the safety stuff the first day that I went on the cruise, I wasn't really paying much attention. I was like, well, if we sink, we sink. As big as this ship is, we gonna.
You going down with the ship, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm going down with the ship. I ain't even gonna try. I'm just gonna be like,
Okay, so there's a seat left on the one raft. Because it's okay. How many other people would do that? I'm not going down. I'm getting out. I ain't going down in this boat. Not if I can help it. If I could try.
Oh yeah, if I could try, but I mean, as big as that ship was, ain't no trying on that one. Like
what do you mean?
As big as the ship was, the undertow and everything, you goner.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. But now with the Titanic, it was probably different because, I mean, we think that it was this big, gigantic ship, and for the time it was. But I mean, compared to like some of these modern cruise ships that we have,
that's somebody fishing boat.
Right. Nowadays, the Titanic would just be like some kind of cargo ship. That's what that would be like.
That was Diddy's party boat. It was nothing.
Because, I mean, now you have like ships with like 22 floors on it. And I think the Titanic was like, I don't know, 9 or 10 maybe.
9 or 10 floors. That's
maybe even less than that. So yeah, if you're on one of these like modern cruise ships, yeah, you a goner for sure. If it sinks,
I don't know, man.
But now the Titanic, you might have had it.
How many where your life safety equipment at?
So if you went on a cruise, you'd be like taking notes. Like, where's
I'm taking equipment? Notes. Man, because I'm gonna be sure then that I'm gonna get, cause there's gonna be people in there like you that's not looking. Like I don't need to know I'm going down with the ship, so I know there's gonna be a few rafts. That's probably why they only have a few rafts, because they know people are lazy. The people in these boats, they not to run to a raft. Like, that's what he's like. Yeah, you seen these people? Like, I see some cruise, you go and you look on YouTube and stuff. There's a lot of heavy people on there. Everybody ain't mobile, so they only put a few rafts. They based on your selection of the stuff that you put in your criteria. That's how they account for how many rafts. Nah, just playing. They got 4 rafts because everybody over 300 pounds on the cruise. They not running to the boat. That's messed up.
That is messed up. But yeah, they know that there's going to be people like me that ain't really paying attention. So that's why, we need people like you to take the notes.
What?
Because people like me are going to be asking questions instead of like the safety concerns when they're going over that. I'm going to raise my hand and be like, is there any laser tag events on this ship?
That's exactly what you're saying. And I'm looking at all the safety instructions. Like I think that's the difference between the plane and the boat. Yeah, man, there's been a lot of plane crashes. That's I don't know what now. I'm like, yo, all right, what y'all doing? It's like every time I look online or I see someone like it's a bunch of plane crashes, I'm like, we ain't been having this many plane crashes, and now everything's just crashing at one time. I don't know. It been giving me conspiracy theories.
There has been a lot of plane crashes lately, like colliding into each other and stuff. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
I mean, to a point. I mean, you can't just I can't just believe everything is.
So, like Bigfoot, what's your stance on Bigfoot?
Nah. We would have been found him. Yeah,
right.
You know. They finding dinosaurs and shit. They ain't never not found whatever they looking for. This is.
I think maybe a long time ago, like hundreds and thousands of years ago, maybe there might have been something. Maybe, and that's just that's not like a strong maybe. That's like a very doubtful maybe.
Man, look, I seen like if somebody was really there, I seen a guy and I was like, this is a cool idea. He had 1,000 drones. Like it was like I don't know if it's maybe more than that. And he would take the drones and send up in the sky, and they can make designs with them. Like and I think they do this now at like Disney. But I didn't even think about having that many drones. To have that many to be able to deploy, I know the military and whoever would want to duplicate this to search for something. Like you see in all the Terminator movies and shit like that, they gonna send them out. You think Bigfoot hiding? No, they got 1,000 drones out there that done found Bigfoot.
True. So what about aliens? What's your stance on aliens?
I think I think the stuff in the ocean, like we ain't see, if you see something different that you ain't never seen before, you're gonna presume that that's an alien. Like they be pulling shit out the ocean, like, yeah, that's definitely an alien. Like that's something different that you ain't never seen. That just a squid, spit ink and shit like that. Like that ain't normal shit. Like not to a human, but everything outside of it's just something different. Like you say, I guess it's the intelligence level. I guess what they presume. When you call them an alien, like what would you define as being an alien? Huh?
I would define an alien as more like outer space kind of stuff. That's why I'm not a big believer in aliens.
How would you determine if something landed here? How would you determine if it's not an alien or not?
Oh, so I guess like to determine it would be like that typical like alien look that you see.
You've been watching too many movies. They've been drawing aliens.
Too many movies.
The big head with the big black eyes.
Yeah, and then the big black eyes. That's how I would determine it. Man, if it didn't look like that, I'd be like, nah, that ain't an alien.
Oh man, that's how look. That's the level of impact that like you see on like people's drawings and the pictures they paint. You really looking for a big eyed, bald headed, because that's what somebody told them. That's what it looked like.
Now I do believe in UFOs, kind of.
What you mean?
Because
an unidentified flying object.
Yeah, to me, anything that you look up at the sky and you're like, what the heck's that? To me, that, that's a UFO. So that's not like really an outer space thing.
People because, that's a shooting star. I don't know for sure.
Right.
like, oh, yes, it is a star because you see how bright it is. You don't know for sure. you could give me whatever, but you ain't been there. It could be like it could be a UFO with a bright ass like light on it.
Yeah, it could be some kind of aircraft that the military's working on with a big ass light that's real bright.
Elon Musk got a flashlight up there, just shining.
He's working on a Tesla airplane that has a big old flashlight.
He got something. Ain't no way you send that much money out to outer space. Ain't nothing happening. Hell no. All his money is going into the sky. What's about to happen here?
But yeah, I'm not a big believer in aliens. Oh, Kennedy. What's your take on Kennedy? That's a good one.
I'm totally black. Kennedy what?
John F. Kennedy. Do you think it was the government that had him killed, or?
I don't know, man. That's I can't say because I don't know the full circumstances of what I ain't that in tune into the story.
Mhm.
of what happened. So I really can't. If I can't speak on this, I speak on it. So
Yeah, if we speak on it too much, the podcast might get shut down.
Oh,
Because
maybe.
if we get started talking about like the FBI stuff and
Because this
if
the
I
thing, when you look at it, like, who is the government? Like that's the, like you said, the government. Like yeah, it's a bunch of people with titles. Like that's the. It makes it interesting. Like yo, really, it's a small world.
it is a small world. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so my take on the Kennedy assassination is I think the government was involved in that.
So you say the government. Who are you talking about specifically? Because this is where this is where it get interesting. Because the different levels of the government. Where would you say it started?
People in the CIA.
The CIA. Why?
Because I think Kennedy was wanting to like do a reform on the CIA or either get rid of them or something.
Oh, somebody about to lose their job?
Yeah, they didn't really like.
Hey, you know something? Yeah, that's usually what happens when people.
And I mean, when you find out that they was working with like Cubans and stuff, it makes you. And Kennedy didn't had it out for Castro and stuff, so it makes you wonder.
Like I watched a show called was it Designated Survivor? Have you seen this show?
Oh, with Mark Wahlberg? No, that's
No. It's a Netflix
Lone
series.
Survivor. That's Lone Survivor.
No, Designated Survivor. It's a political show, but it's interesting enough for people that are TV enthusiasts, like action and like drama enthusiasts, to learn more. It has a good sense of the government levels and the powers, and I guess in a sense, some of the for like TV, but it gives like at least in the different levels, so it keeps your interest, so you can actually understand the different realms. There it is.
Oh, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, man, that's great. It was a great show, man. So it's interesting to see some of how the powers potentially have the ability to react. I mean, like I said, some of it's like TV stuff to make it interesting, but it's a pretty good show. But it will pique people's interest into politics.
And I think that a designated survivor is an actual thing. Like, there is somebody out there that is like, if the crap hits the fan and like everybody at the highest level of politics is wiped out, you're the guy. I think that is an actual thing.
That's what I'm the designated survivor.
Or am I the designated survivor? Hey, you'll never know.
That's it.
Or is the guy working at Starbucks the designated survivor?
It could be.
I think that's the question that should end the episode right there. Is who's the designated survivor?
She hit the fan, and then all of a sudden, Secret Service pop in to get this nigga behind the Starbucks counter and rush him out of there. Like, hey, he just stand up here mad as hell. Damn, my latte go. What the fuck is y'all doing? Get your hands on me. We got him. Come on up. Mr. President, what?
We got the barista.
Cause that's what it is. Now you're going to act as president. We got him. Wait. You got the barista, he the president now because they rushing you out of there.
That'd be my reaction if I was the designated survivor. Wait, what?
What? Hey, it was very interesting. Like, and it just thought like, hey, essentially that's the at first it's the president, the vice president's job to assume the role of president in the event that something happened to the president. So it would be interesting to like the first day, because he been on the job, like he been like whoever the vice president is in any presidential term is, their job is potentially, hey, be ready to jump in if shit hit the fan and my boy's not gonna be here. You need to be ready, but he ain't really ready. Like you see people like that's an assistant manager. You've been doing assistant manager shit. You ain't paying attention to everything.
Oh yeah, you ain't ready.
The assistant manager, or I can't say that. Some assistant managers be better than the manager.
Right. I have a
What?
theory about the designated survivor.
What?
We'll leave it to the listeners. I
What?
believe Moose is the designated survivor. No, I'm kidding.
Of what?
I believe you're the designated survivor.
I'm the designated survivor to be the one that says this is the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Look, no, actually, the people over here, y'all survived every episode up until this point.
So the listeners are the designated survivors.
Yeah.
There we go. Case closed.
Thank you for listening to Unplanned and Unashamed. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Unplanned and Unashamed podcast. If you like what you've heard, make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and follow. And we'll see you on the next episode.